We've been putting a lot of work into the Sunny truck. So we've got the dash and the radios all back in, the heater controls, we've still got a list of stuff to contend with down here. But I keep glancing across over here and seeing this, which is our Cuzco equipped LSD for the mighty Viperccino. This week on Barrel Brothers, we're going to be doing something completely different that we've never done before. We're replacing the diff on the Cappuccino. Stay tuned. Actually, I wasn't going to do it, and then I decided to pop out for lunch, you know, because I didn't have all the stuff that I needed, but I popped out for lunch to get some lunch, and it was right next to the auto place that had the things that I actually needed. And yeah, there's no reason not to do it now. Never enough tools. Another 12. Nearly put it on my phone. Well, that one's out. Now we can put the other one in. So there is our Torsen, and there is our Cuzco LSD. Now, when they're in the car, it's pretty hard to tell the difference between a Torsen and just a standard single pegger, because your first port of call is you turn this one and notice that one goes the other way. On an LSD, they're easy to, well, this type of LSD, notice they both turn the same way. That's how to tell them apart quickly. But a Torsen, if one wheel is unloaded, it will behave like unload off the ground. It will behave like an open diff. Torsen torque sensing. So as soon as summer torque is applied to one, then it will behave like a limited slip diff. They're a clever piece of kit, but I like these better. So that's what I'm going to go in with. But my big drama is, well, not big drama, but the good bush, which is this one here, is in the wrong diff. So I need to swap these back hats over. I can't, that's pressed in, and I pressed that one in too, but yeah, I'm going to take it back out and swap them over. Yeah, a bit of pissing around, but then we can whack it all back in again. The other thing about that is, this one is still full of oil, so I'm gonna probably stand it up in the vise. It might be the best bet. I'll just pop this back hat off of this guy, and I'll stand that one up in the vise and pop it off, and then just swap them over. Put a bit of slaz in there. Bob is your uncle. Quick de-slaz. Cool. Oh, there's the diff also. Very clever, these Torsens. You should watch a video on how Torsens actually work. And whoever thought it up is quite an impressive engineer. We'll give you a bit of a look down. See these gears here, these side gears, and those ones, everything works together. And the principle is that you can't turn, an axle can't turn the diff, only the diff can turn the axle. It's clever how this thing works. Worth looking it up. Look at that lovely stinky diff oil. The other thing I can do, because it's out of the car, is put the diff oil in now, save the buggerizing around. I've had Shannon here all morning, and he has cut loose with one of his, let's call it a Shannonism, which kind of made me laugh, but it goes something like this. The dildo of consequence rarely arrives lubed. I think there's something in that for all of us. Alright, so I didn't film that because the slaz decided not to come out here, but it came out the bottom, which went all over my hands. You know, we don't need that sort of language on a family channel, you know, or we shouldn't use that sort of language in polite society. So I'll just leave that bit out. Anyway, after getting it all off my hands, everything's done now, I've just got to put them all back together. I've probably dropped one somewhere. And this guy goes on here. So the old Torsen, I think I'll just stick that up for sale. Somebody in the Kappa Club will want that, guaranteed. Has been tickled up. What do we need to do? We need to put some oil in that guy and tighten that up, and we'll be ready to chuck that one in and put this one up for sale. Tighten that. You're up for sale. And you, we can fill up with oil. The only real drama with these is they don't have a graduation, so you don't really know where you are. And it's got a litre, and we need 0.8 of a litre in here. I could take a stab at it. How about we take 200 ml out and then just put the rest in there. It's a damn sight easier than doing it under the car, I've got to say. All right, Crushco diff, so 80-90 weight, GL5, which is what this stuff is, the new one. I have seen people put in like a friction modifier as well. It depends how clunky and awful this diff is. I know that the MZ that we've got in the van is very clunky, so that's why I went with an RS here. Mind you, this is an RS two-way, so two-ways are, you know, a bit bitchy. So we've got a better diff in a worse configuration, whether it needs a two-way. They didn't do a 1.5 way, which was, I was surprised. 1.5 way being my configuration of choice. I remember Benny saying that you can't get the last bit out of these. You're just not trying hard. Not with that attitude, Ben, you can't. I'll put that little bit left over in my spare diff oil department. Cool. Ready to go back in. They're really, look, for a 660, they're a pretty solid diff, you know. Lights, camera, action. Nose first. Doesn't help that I've bugged my shoulder. Taping up packets of wheels that I've sold so many of in the past few weeks. Helps if you put it in the right way around, Mark. How the hell did I do this? I must have done it around that way because it just won't go in this way. I think I had this problem last time. I put it in and I couldn't get, I had to take it back out, sort of, to get the tail shaft in. While I think of it, so I just saw it there, I better put my speedo drive pin in because there's going to be nothing worse than starting off down the road having no speedo. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. The other diff that I just took out, while it's quieter than this one before it was fettled, it was so noisy when I first got it. It was unbelievable. I had to put this diff back in because it was so freaking loud. A few little things up. But yeah, the Torsen that I just took out, it had been, I think, it had been wrong for so long that it had worn into a little bit of a weird pattern. So it still is a little noisy. 60 Ks it has a bit of a whine, but it was a lot better. You gotta remember too, like this diff is sitting right behind you. Ooh, balanced it on the exhaust, nicely done. I might even put the camera in the car so we can have a listen together, hoping for joyous occasions. I think the proliferation of two-way diffs in these is something to do with, I watched a video with a Cappuccino drift day. I think it might have been Noriaro, I think. And they're going through, he was asking the various combatants about their vehicles. And it was like, oh yeah, two-way diff, Cusco two-way, Cusco two-way, Cusco two-way. Fairly popular. So basically it looks like I've got to undo those cross-member bolts and put the washers back in and do up the axle nuts, and we're good to go. Okay, no screws, washers or anything lying on the ground. We'll pack this crap up, put it on the deck, drive home. New diff in! Alrighty, so from what I've heard, the best way to set these up is to do a couple of figure eights, which we're going to do right now. No clunkiness at all just yet. That's at full lock, that's a tyre just rubbing against the firewall. Yeah, this diff is a lot quieter. When I first put the Torsen, like the other one, this one before it was changed over was quite loud. You had to like raise your voice to have a conversation in the car. Then I put the Torsen in, and it was very loud. Basically, you couldn't have a conversation in the car. Then we put this one back in, and this one back in, and we got the Torsen out and got it fixed up, and that quietened it down a lot. Didn't make it silent. It had a big whine at 60 kilometers an hour, and I haven't been over 60 kilometers an hour yet in this one, so it might be terrible at 110. I don't know, 100 k's. We will find out shortly. Pick a lane, any lane, which lane you're going in. Right, I'm going in the other one. Wow, that diff hooks up. That diff hooks up really well. Very cool. We've got the smallest noise. What are we doing? We're doing 100 kilometers an hour now. There's the smallest noise there. It's so much quieter. This is really good. A quiet diff that actually hooks up. This is winning. It's not a super straight line car. I mean, what makes this such a joy to drive is you can just fling it into corners until you think the tyres are going to tear off it. It's really awesome. And now it used to get out of a corner pretty well with the Torsen. Now it gets like it was spinning with the open diff. It was spinning the inside wheel. With the Torsen, it hooked up pretty well. This is better again. It's amazing. Ah, look, he's here again today. The diff hooks up, but we better keep it under 60 k's because the a-holes are here again. There you go. So it's in between the two roundabouts, and they hide over the hill here, and they get both directions because you come out of the roundabout and you go first, second, third, and you're over 60 k's, and they book you at 3 k's over, which is, you can have a little bit accidentally put on a larger set of tyres and you're screwed. So that's just revenue raising from the government. It's not safety. Don't believe this BS about it being for safety. It's garbage. And it annoys the hell out of me. Well, great success. Very pleased.